Hey guys, Pino Chichi here. A little odd to be shooting an intro to a video for Presley's channel here, but today I wanted to almost do like a little disclaimer for today's video. Just let you know up front. Obviously from the title, we're going to be talking about the Arapahoe High School shootings that just happened. Thought a lot about if we were going to talk about this, and if we were even going to talk about it, if we were going to vlog about it. And a few things kind of pushed me over to where I think we are going to shoot this video. We're going to shoot it at least. We were definitely going to have the conversations. We're going to shoot it. This may never see the light of day on YouTube, depending on how it goes, but we're definitely going to have the conversation at least. So just to frame of reference for where we are with what happened here. The Arapahoe High School is about a mile probably from the house here. Definitely would be the high school that Presley would be assigned to when she was in high school if she wasn't homeschooling. It's where she would go. My office where I work is even closer. It's about halfway there, so less than half a mile from the school. You could see we watched everything sort of unfolding from the windows of our office while it was going on. I actually had come home for lunch and had just driven back to the office, and while I was parking in our parking lot and getting out of my car is when a lot of the emergency vehicles were flying in. So there were one or two that came by. I thought there was a fire or something like that. And then as I was getting out of my car and walking through the parking lot, just streams of vehicles came along and bomb squad, like all kinds of things. So obviously something serious was happening. And at the time I had no idea what was going on, but it was, I was in a place in our parking lot that kind of is right next to the Arapahoe High School parking lot. If, the shooter had run out of the building and tried to escape and sort of cut through the parking lots and stuff, that, we very easily could have walked right by each other, right? So it was really close to our house and people we knew, and we know people that have kids that go to that school. Kids in the neighborhood where we are here go to that school. So we drive by that school every day. In fact, we drove by it today. And I asked Presley when we were going by if she had heard about it and kind of knew that something had happened. And she just kind of said that she knew something had happened, but she wasn't sure what the details were. And when we pointed out the school, there's still crime tape around it and everything. So just driving over to the gym today, we drive by the school. So it's, really close to home. I mean, it's, we just live a few miles from Columbine. We've never really talked about that, but obviously it didn't happen while we were living here. So this one we decided we'd probably will have a little conversation with Presley about it. Certainly if you've watched our videos, and definitely if you know us, we're pretty open with Presley. I have a lot of pretty mature conversations. If you watch our Prop 8 video or what was going on in Syria and things like that. I mean, we have a lot of world conversations and some mature conversations. If I think she can handle it, or if I think we should have the conversation, we put it on tape. And so this is one that I was kind of on the fence about. And like I said, these are cold conversations, and she doesn't know that she doesn't even right now as I'm recording this. She doesn't know this is what we're talking about tonight. So we'll turn the camera on and we'll sit and we'll have this conversation. And again, depending on how it goes, I think it's probably going to go just fine. It's not going to be a big deal. But if it's upsetting to her or anything like that when we talk about it, then certainly we won't put this on, and you'll never see this. So you wouldn't know that I said that. But, we're going to see what happens. And part of Presley's vlog is kind of, sharing her life and her perspective and how she sees the world, both for us to see, look back on later, her to look back on later. And, if there is anybody out there that sees it, that appreciates it, sure that it's helpful for, then all the better. But, for the most part, it's kind of a chronicle for her and for us to look and see what happens. And so this is just a part of that. But I just wanted to let everyone know up front that, we're going to talk about what happened and get Presley's take on it. And, if you're uncomfortable with the subject matter or uncomfortable with, someone Presley's age having a conversation about what happened, then this is probably a good one to skip. And we'll see you tomorrow with more lighthearted fare, I'm sure. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye. Hey, guys. Pino Chichi here with Presley at ActOutGames.com.
Hello.
And today we're going to do Presley's perspective. And we're going to talk about what happened right down the street. Yeah?
Yes.
So why don't you go ahead and tell me what you know about what happened?
I know that there was a probably mentally unstable person that shot shot 2 people over at the high school really close to us.
High school, right? Just like a mile from here, right?
Yeah.
We drive by all the time. We drove by it today. What'd you see?
I saw tape everywhere.
Crime scene tape.
Crime scene tape.
And a bunch of reporters and stuff. Trucks.
Yep.
So do you know anything else, or is that really all you know so far?
That's pretty much all I know. We haven't talked much about it, so...
Yeah. I just didn't know what you had seen or heard while we were watching the news and stuff.
Well, I do not watch the news.
Well, me and Mommy watch the news and you hear it sometimes. What, do you know anything about the person who shot people?
No, I do not know anything about him.
You don't know how old he was, or
I don't know.
if it was a boy or a girl?
No, I think it was a boy because everyone's saying he around here. So...
Okay. So we're going to just talk about it a little bit, okay? And if at any point while we're having this conversation, if you're not comfortable with it, you just tell me, okay? And we'll stop. And we'll do something else for your vlog, okay? But, it happens so close. And
it scares me.
we know people, and what? It scares you?
Scares
Does
me.
it? That's part of what...
All this stuff, and it's like 1 mile away.
Yeah, that's part of what I wanted to talk about, is how you felt about it, right? So this is your perspective, so it's how you... So I'll tell you a little bit about what happened, or at least what we think happened, right?
Yeah, I don't know much.
I'm watching the news, and I'm reading news stories, and I know some friends of mine had kids that went to school there. So I'll tell you what I think I know, and it could, when things like this happen, a lot of times, a lot of news comes out really fast, and it turns out to be wrong. So it's possible that some of this could change, but I'll tell you what the story is so far, and then we'll talk a little bit about what you think about it, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So it was a boy. I think he was 18. I'm pretty sure he was 18. He was a student at the school there.
Yeah, I do know that he was a student.
He was a student. He was on the debate team, and he ran cross country. And something happened a couple of months ago, I think it was, and he got in a fight with his debate teacher, the coach that taught debate, who was also the librarian at the school. And the boy, I can't remember his name, or the teacher's name right now, but it doesn't matter. The boy had some ideas about how he wanted to change the debate club. Like he had some ideas for what the team should be doing, and he was, apparently he was pretty good. He went to nationals, and people said he was the best debater on the school team. Okay, so he had some ideas about how he wanted to change it, and the coach didn't do it, and he got really mad. The boy got really mad. And people said that his personality was that he didn't like to be told he was wrong. So when he had an idea or he wanted to do something and the teachers corrected him or told him he was wrong or something, that it made him really mad. He didn't like it, just personality-wise. And so he got really mad at the coach. And it looks like at the time he said some things to the coach and maybe even threatened him, maybe even threatened to kill him. And he was so mad that he said some really mean, hateful things to the coach.
It was a him?
It was a him. The coach was a him too, yeah, that's right. And so the coach did what he was supposed to do and went to the school authorities and told them what happened. And so they suspended him, the boy, from school. Do you know what that means?
They, kind of banned him from the school.
They banned him for a little while. Suspended is temporary, expelled is permanent.
Expelled. It's kind of like detention, but at home.
Kind of like that, yeah. So detention or suspension means you can't come back to the school for a month or a week or a couple of days or something like that. Expelled means you can never come back, right? So he was suspended in a month or something, I guess. I don't really know how long it was actually. So he came back and he was still really mad about what had happened, and the coach also kicked him off of the debate team. So even when he came back, he couldn't be on the debate team anymore. And the debate team was competing and going on, and I guess even this past weekend, that maybe they had a competition that they won and did really well in, and that upset him a little bit, I guess. And so he went, I don't know, not too long ago, because he was 18 and he's an adult, he went and he bought a gun, a shotgun. Remember when we were in Tennessee and we shot the shotgun, right? So he bought a shotgun, and then he bought bullets, I think yesterday morning. He went and bought some bullets for the shotgun. And then we're sort of learning now that he packed up, he took a bunch of bullets with him, and he took the gun with him, basically. Then he had a machete with him, too, I think I heard.
Machete.
Yeah, like a big knife.
Yeah, I know what a machete is.
Yeah, machete. So he went after lunch, he went back to the school. I don't know if he was there that morning and then went home for lunch or what happened, but after lunch, and this is right when Daddy was going back to work on Friday, right? Like, that's why Mommy was texting me to see where I was and what was going on, right? Because, it's work is right there, right next door. He went in the school, parked in the parking lot and went in one of the side doors and started yelling for the coach. Where's Mr. So-and-so? I can't remember his name right now. But he had his shotgun. He had all the bullets with him. He wasn't trying to hide it or anything. He just barged into school and started screaming, where's Coach whoever or Mr. whoever? And there was a girl.
Sir, professor.
Yeah, whatever. So there was a girl sitting there in the hallway, and something happened. I don't think we know yet exactly what happened, but he shot her with a shotgun.
She must have tried to stop him.
It's possible. It's possible, right? It's possible. I mean, who knows what he was thinking at the time? Like you said, at the time, certainly. I mean, you have to assume he was unstable in some way, right? Maybe like every day, normally walking around, he wasn't like an unstable person that you would. That's kind of the scary part of all of this, and this we'll talk about scary stuff. Is that you don't see, like, people who do these kinds of things don't look a certain way. So it's not like you're hanging out and you see that person walking down the street and you can tell by looking at them that they're crazy or that something's going to go wrong or that they're violent or something, right?
Unless they're going to be violent at the time and they have a shotgun and a machete.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, so at the time. And so maybe she said something to him, maybe she tried to stop him, maybe he just he was planning to go there and shoot people, right? I mean, who knows what happened, but so he shot a girl at the school, and she's in the hospital right now. She's still alive, but she's sick. Certainly, she's hurt really bad.
I saw a picture of her.
Did you? She's really pretty, isn't she? Yeah. So she was 17. I think she was a senior too, and so she's in the hospital now in critical condition. And then they thought he shot somebody else. They thought he shot two people, but it sounds now like that's not true. That the other person they thought was shot just had that girl's blood. Like, she was sitting there with a friend of hers, and either somebody tried to help her or whatever. They got blood on them, and so they thought two people were hurt, but it was just her. And then he went in the library. So the debate coach was the librarian too, and was still yelling for the coach. And he shot a couple more times with a shotgun. It didn't shoot anybody. He was just shooting.
To threaten, I guess?
Yeah, he was looking for the coach. And the coach heard him yelling, or somebody came in and told the coach that he was there looking for him. And so the coach ran outside and left the school, right? Like he's supposed to do. They have certain rules.
It has rules, if a person threatens a teacher or a student, they're just supposed to leave.
They leave, right? So that if that person follows them, then at least they're not in the school with all the other kids, right? And so they have these called protocols, the thing that you're supposed to do. So all the other classrooms, they knew what to do. People were yelling. All the teachers locked all their doors and hid all the kids in closets and corners and stuff, and wouldn't open the doors so that everybody else would stay safe, right? And then the policeman that works at the school, sort of, more or less.
Sort of like a security.
Yeah, security. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So he found out some way or another. I mean, I heard there was a janitor that was talking about he saw the boy go into school with a gun, so he called 911 and called for help. And however, the security officer at the school was not chasing him, but he was looking for him, and he came running after him. And so the boy, either in the library or in a classroom right next to the library, he used a shotgun and he killed himself when he thought he was going to be caught. It kind of looked like, right? And who probably, a lot of times that happens, right? So he probably never expected to leave the school, right? He knew that that's what he was going to do, but he might have thought he was going to kill more people, and he certainly thought he was going to kill that teacher. But he never saw the teacher, and the teacher, I don't think, ever saw him, and so he never shot the teacher. I heard a couple of times he shot at him. One of the times he shot in the library was at the instructor, but I don't know if that's true or not. That's all stuff that's just kind of speculation. So, that's the facts of what happened, right? That's kind of the story. But, what happened was you had this kid And he was still a kid. He was 18, so he was kind of an adult, but he was still a kid, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't really consider somebody an adult until they're about 20.
yeah, 21 is when, yeah, 20. A lot of times 20, 21, yeah. So, you know, he was on the debate club, and he ran track, and people liked him, and he was really smart, they said, stuff like that. Sometimes he got angry, but that was about all.
Not that angry.
Not that, no, nobody thought that, you know, that there aren't people coming out now and saying, I knew this was going to happen someday, or something like that. Everybody's really shocked and surprised, right? And so, but what happened, and what happens in these cases, right? Like this one wasn't a bullying one. A lot of times when you hear about this, it's some kid's being bullied, and he goes back to the school to try and get revenge on his bullies, right? And maybe he thought that coach was bullying him, so he was trying to get revenge on that coach, right? But you have these kids, and like, you know, he thinks that getting kicked off of the debate squad is so bad that it's not worth living anymore, right? And that if it's not worth living for him anymore, then he wants to kill the person that did that to him, right?
Right.
And so, like you said, it's kind of unstable, right? And it's this idea that people, there's this idea called identity, right? Like who are you? What is it that makes you who you are?
Identity, like kind of your like face and
but it's
what
more
you look like, what your personality is.
Right. So this is more like people a lot of times will take a thing like their job, like adults do it with their job a lot. Kids, like he did it with a debate club, or it sounds like he did. I don't know this, but it sounds like
if you signed up for an after-school group, you would have like that.
Well, but like he so associated his life with a debate club that when he got kicked off of the debate club, his life didn't mean anything anymore to him, right? Like he had so made his life about debate, and it wasn't about who he was inside. And like the things that we teach you and try and talk to you about, right? Like being happy in yourself, and that your circumstances change all the time. Like we lived in Hawaii, you were born in Texas, we live in Colorado now, we moved, you had friends in Hawaii and we moved, and your circumstances changed. But that's not you, that's not who you are, right?
That's not me.
You're Presley, it's inside of you.
I wouldn't be like suicidal just because like I moved away from one of my friends.
Right.
I would be okay with that because now I have other friends and I don't need to worry about it. And maybe one day we could go back to Hawaii and visit him.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of times, you know, people like this too, they become sad about it. And they don't.
Well, I was sad.
No, it's okay to be sad. It's absolutely okay to be sad, right? But they don't talk about it. They don't let themselves be sad, and they just like let it bottle up inside of them and get worse and worse and worse and worse. Instead of talking to somebody about it, like coming to your parents and saying, "Look, I'm really sad that we moved," and then we can talk about it and talk about how you're gonna make new friends and how things will change, right? Yeah. So people don't understand that things change, right? No matter what, everything changes. Right. And so you can't get so attached to a thing or a job or a friend even or something like that you can't handle that thing changing. Yeah, go ahead, Tweet.
I was going to say, like, how everything changes. It's like an art style. It's constantly changing. Like, and you keep getting better, and you keep, like, changing your style.
Right.
And so just think of it like an art style.
You're growing.
It's
growth. And sometimes, like, it you know, you hit a point when you're drawing that you feel like you're really bad at drawing something, right? So it's kind of that, and you just keep working, and then eventually it gets better. It's the same thing. Bad things happen to you in life, and bad things will happen to you in life. There's no way to go through life without bad things happening to you, right? So every once in a while, bad things will happen. And you have to not let those things be so overpowering that they make you think that life's not worth living anymore, right? Did you have something else you want to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, just like, even though bad things, and like, bad things happen in life, I heard that just smile, and because smiling actually triggers, like, in your brain to be happy. Yeah. So.
It's true.
So just smile and then think about the happy points in life.
Do you try that?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a good policy.
Yeah.
Right? And talk to people. Like if something bad happens and you really feel sad, you should talk, right?
Just talk to people.
The other thing that I really wanted to stress for you, especially, right, is that you see these things on the news, and it makes big news, and people are talking about it and things like that, but it's really, really, really rare, right?
Right.
I mean, it's very unlikely to happen. Like, it doesn't happen at every school once a year. Somebody's getting shot, or some kids coming into every classroom, and it's not like a real and present danger every time you go to a classroom or go to a movie, like the movie theater thing that happened here too a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
Or last year.
Or all the way when Lincoln was alive.
That's right. You can't go to a play. You're probably not going to get shot like Lincoln did, right? So it happens, and it's sensational, and it makes the news, and we talk about it because it's traumatic, right? It's a big thing. It's a big thing, but it's important for you to understand. Like you started off saying a little bit that it scares you a little bit, right?
Right.
But you have to understand that it's really rare. So I mean, it's really unlikely to ever happen to you or anybody you know or anything.
Right.
I mean, the fact that it happened here. And I actually know some people with some kids that went to school there. It's just really rare.
Even our pet sitter went there.
You think she went there? She might.
I think Mackenzie went there.
It's possible. Yeah. I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about it so that it's not like a big secret, and I wanted to make sure you weren't kind of overhearing the news and that it wasn't scaring you. I wanted to talk, if it is scaring you a little bit, we should talk about it a little bit and what might make you feel better. And I wanted you to know what happened, so it wasn't kind of a big mystery, right? And you're right, it's somebody that's a little unstable, right? Something, like anyone who can get that invested in something, or like something like a debate, becomes so important to you that getting kicked off the debate squad makes you want to kill the coach and yourself.
Yeah.
There's something wrong, right?
Even if I sort of, say I sort of got, an art job fit, being an artist. If I stopped, if I got stopped, I had something happened and I couldn't be an artist anymore, then I wouldn't flip out. I would still have drawings and I could still put them on DeviantArt. That's a small way to make some money. And I could still do something else. The drawing could still be a hobby. Maybe if you got kicked off of the debate.
I've had a lot of jobs.
You could just maybe do something. It could still be your hobby. It doesn't have to be your job.
And he wanted to go into politics because that's part of the debate, right? He wanted to speak and argue and compel people to do things, and he had big ideas about how to change the world. It sounds like, right? He really seriously thought about how you could change the world and make the world a better place. And now he'll never get that chance because of a bad decision that he made and not taking a few minutes to think about it. And so that's kind of sad. Even though it's easy to be mad at him and hate him for what he did and the terrible thing and hurting that girl.
Another thing is just think about it.
Yeah,
maybe you could just take a minute and think about what if that was a good decision.
Right.
If it's a good decision to do this or not.
And a good
think before you leap.
Yeah, that's right. A good rule of thumb is that if you wouldn't tell somebody that you were going to do it, then it's probably not a good idea, right? He probably wouldn't have told somebody, told his parents, hey, I'm going to go to school tomorrow and shoot the debate coach, right? Because he kicked me off,
He's not going to tell anybody.
Right, and that just a general good rule of thumb in your head is to think about, if I wouldn't go tell Dad about this idea that I've got, or tell Mom about this thing that I'm thinking about doing,
or just tell anyone,
or anyone, my friend, then it's probably not a great idea, right? That's a pretty good sanity check, just to make sure that you're thinking clearly.
One exception for that rule, if you're getting a present for them, don't tell them that.
Right, but if you would, if you were getting me a present, would you tell Mom about it, right?
Yeah.
If it was a present that was really bad and you wouldn't tell Mom because you knew Mom would be mad that you were buying me that present, then maybe you shouldn't even buy that present, right?
Yeah. Unless it's something that you wanted to be a surprise to the whole family.
And you still think about what I tell my friend, what I tell, it would be a surprise to everybody probably, right? So you're absolutely right. You got the right idea.
Yeah.
So I want you to know that it's really rare. It's not likely that anything like that's going to happen. It's really,
Just not very likely that somebody's just. It's not it's something you don't see every day.
That's right. And so, like I said, bad things happen, and they happen to people. And the people that this happens to feel very differently about, how risky it is, and they never thought that this would happen to you, right? So you have to be prepared for some of these things, right? So you learn how to behave. That's why they had the protocols in place, so that the kids would hide in the classrooms and they would lock up the classrooms and stuff, right? Because they want to be prepared, even though it's unlikely, because it might happen someday, and you have to be prepared to deal with what happens.
Yeah.
But
that's one of my top rules for anything is be prepared.
Be prepared.
Just in case something happens, just in case something you don't expect happens,
Right.
always be prepared.
Right.
Like, maybe if something happens, like maybe you lose something you lose something, like you lose one of your art supplies. But one of my rules on being prepared is to stock up on something.
Yeah.
So like
Have extras.
You have extras just in case you lose something. It doesn't like change everything just because you lost your red marker. You have more red markers. So
Yeah,
that's
a good policy
be
too.
prepared and stock up on if it's like a mental change, like what happened. It's just stock up on ideas just in case something changes.
Right. So does what happened make you feel scared to go anywhere that you go? Do you think about it at all?
No, it doesn't make me scared to go anywhere. I go because I'm homeschooled, and when you're homeschooled, your parents pretty much know everything that you're doing. So I know that they'll know what I'm doing, and I don't go to any public school or anything where with open campus or anything. So there wouldn't be like anybody walking in. They would have to either stay in the school or not go on that day. And then you have so you know where they are and you know what they do. Like at my school, you can if you're not sure what they're gonna do, and I'm on my diet, so if they're not sure if they're gonna do something with food today, they could email the teachers or the head of the school on what the kids are going to be doing today in the classes that I'm in, just to see if they'll need any food backups or anything.
Right. And like I said, though, this is kind of important too. Right? You're talking about a homeschool versus public school and those kinds of things, and that's good points to make, right? But I don't want you to think that this is just what happens in public school.
No, it's not just what happens.
And this is not why you're homeschooled. Mommy and I don't think that if we put you in public school, you're going to get hurt. We don't. This just doesn't happen often enough that it needs to be something that you change the way that you live your life around it, right? Obviously, we think homeschool is the right thing for you for a lot of reasons. This isn't one of those reasons.
Mostly because I have a very short attention span.
It doesn't hurt, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But bullying and stuff like that, we could definitely maybe do a vlog someday about bullying in public school versus private school, and some of our friends' experience moving back and forth and things like that, which could lead to animosity and things like that. And definitely in your peer group with your friend, you don't see that kind of people excluding each other and kind of things like that. So it's definitely better. I'm not saying it's not.
Exclude each other.
But
if somebody's excluding something,
that's bad.
Then it's bad.
Everybody else kind of pitches in and invites
everyone else kind of pinches in, and sometimes even some of the social butterflies of the school, they'll ask what they were doing and they may even have do it with the other person.
And do I know any of the social butterflies at your school?
Well, I'm probably the only one. I'm the only one, but I do a lot of stuff, and I don't know if I can manage.
So look, just to close that thought out, right? Look, it's important that don't think that this is what public school is like.
No, I do not think that's what public school is like.
I went to public school. Mommy went to public school. Most of the people we know went to public school, and we learned. So don't think that people that go to public school don't learn. And don't think that people that go to public school are all either bullies or getting bullied, and that sooner or later somebody's going to come to school with a gun or something. It's just not the way that it happens.
No,
right?
It's just that I don't have a mindset that public school is bad. I have a mindset that homeschool is better.
I agree.
I only have a mindset that it's better. I don't have I have a mindset that when you're homeschooled, you don't really have bullies that often. And I don't think that there's everyone getting bullied, because you always know there's a social butterfly in the school that would help, and and especially all the people that would tell the teacher.
Right.
And there's always that person that you totally don't expect to to do something like that. Like somebody who you told, there's no matter where you are, there's always something there's always somebody that you just don't expect to do something.
Right. And there's always, like, people have things going on in their lives, right? There's another good thing to sort of keep in mind is that, he had this getting kicked off to the debate squad. A few years ago, his parents got divorced. I don't know how much of a factor that was. And so, like, even people that are kind of mean sometimes, or they ignore you or whatever, sometimes it's because they really have things going on. And sometimes, being that person's friend and helping and asking about what's going on can help them. Because, like I said, sometimes you need to talk about these things. It's important to be able to talk about them and get them out. And sometimes you can be that person that somebody talks to, too, especially since you're kind of the social butterfly.
Yeah, sometimes the social butterfly and friends, like, with everyone there.
So sometimes when one of your friends is upset, and even if they're acting kind of mean, you might want to try and figure out why they're acting that way instead of just staying away.
So like if somebody's acting differently, I'd probably ask like, what's going on, and if it's something, and if it's like something personal, like then that's that they don't want to talk about, then that's okay.
Yeah.
But if it's something like it's something that happened that you can. If it's something that's not that personal, like they lost a friend or something, another friend or something,
right.
You can still just be optimistic about it. Like you still have your other friends. Yeah, it's just always good to help.
And if somebody, if one of your friends is like that and you talk to them and they have a really bad problem and you don't know what to do about it, then you come talk to me about it. Or you talk to Mommy, and then maybe we can help you.
Or the teacher. Or
whatever. Somebody like that, and maybe we can help you with advice.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you want to ask about what happened or?
Well, I do. I just do want to know if anyone has any idea what he looked like, because it's kind of weird to imagine something without knowing what they're.
I can show you a picture of him. They've posted pictures of him. I can show you a picture.
Yeah.
Of him, if that helps.
Yeah, that would help.
You've seen her, right? But you haven't seen him.
Yeah, I've seen her, but I haven't seen him.
Okay. I can show you a picture of him if that'll make you feel better.
Yes. It's just so weird to imagine something where you have no idea what they look like.
But like I said,
even when you're reading a book, you have an idea.
He's not a monster.
Yeah.
Right? If you look at him, you won't think, wow, that's a kid that could come to school and shoot people. It's just a kid. It's just a kid. So, but yeah, when we get off of this, I'll bring it up on the internet and I'll show you what he looks like. Anything else that you want to know? Any questions you have?
Not really.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, like if at night you think about it, and if it does scare you, if something scares you, come to me. Come down and speak with me. It's fine. But if you want to ask me questions or you want to know something about it, then just ask me. Okay. Don't feel like you can't ask me. The reason we do these conversations and we talk about these things, you can talk to me about anything, and I can talk to you about just about anything, right?
Right.
And with this video, just like most others, right? You make me proud. You very mature responses and thoughtful responses, and I appreciate it. I think you're a really mature little girl, and I'm really proud of you. Okay. And this is a tough time, and it just happened right next to us, and stuff went on, so I really wanted to talk to you about it and make sure you were okay with everything that was going on. It seems like you're doing pretty good. You got your head screwed on right. But if you ever want to talk about this or anything else like this, just let me know, okay? Thanks. Okay. So back to normal, lighthearted Presley daily vlog fare tomorrow. But
we're having a party.
There's a party tomorrow, so yeah, we're going to a Christmas party, so that'll probably be a lot better, a lot more lighthearted than this one. And thanks, guys. Bye.